Let's jump to this story from Timcast.com because I want to make fun of Joe Biden. Biden responds to handwritten letter from child about gender pay gap on equal pay day. Men are getting more money than girls. I think you should fix this since you're the president. This is written by Christopher Bertman, and I'm going to issue a fact check here. Biden did not respond to a handwritten letter from a child because I do not believe they ever actually stated it was from a child, nor does it appear to actually be from a child. Let me show you the tweet in question, and then we'll go through some standard journalistic ethics.
They're just suggesting.
Joe Biden tweeted, Charlotte, I couldn't agree more. Women lose thousands of dollars each year and hundreds of thousands over a lifetime because of gender and racial wage gaps. I'm committed to building an economy where my daughters have the same rights and opportunities as my sons. So nowhere in here does it say this letter was written by a child. That's the first and foremost thing that Timcast.com needs to correct. The headline says from child. We don't know that.
Alleged child.
No, there's no alleged at all.
We'd add that.
No. Where in Biden's tweet does it say it's from a child?
It doesn't. That way, when the letter's fake, they can say, like, oh, well, we never said it was from a child. This is just from Charlotte, who has terrible handwriting.
John Fetterman.
That's right.
Yeah.
It's from Charlotte, who has terrible handwriting. The letter says, Dear President Biden, spelled wrong, I just wanted to tell you to tell something not fair to ladies. Men are getting more money. Notice the cursive G. This is not written by a child.
John Fetterman.
More money than girls. I think you should fix this since you're the president. Even I'm a child and I think we should do something. From Charlotte.
There's
now,
like 4 different kinds of handwriting in that too.
But most importantly, notice the G's are written in cursive. The G's are written by someone who has got.
They haven't taught cursive in like 20 years.
And not only that, they don't teach it to children this young. So a child who is writing, just printing. What do you call, like, I don't know, cursive and then what, standard or
Printing.
Something?
Printing. Yeah.
Then they wouldn't be using stylized G's like this, right? So first and foremost, no sane human being thinks a child wrote Joe Biden this letter. If you do, I'm sorry, but you will need some help. All right, especially as you get older, and maybe you should wear a helmet. But the funny thing is, let's just talk about the actual message from President Biden. There's no gender wage gap. There it is. We know it. Everybody knows it. And I think this is a great litmus test for...
Isn't it been like 10 years since that's been debunked?
It's been debunked since they lied and made it up. It's never been true.
When corrected for jobs and tenure and all those kind of things, it's like a penny.
It's
a penny on a dollar.
Well, I think it's between 3 and 7%. And that is actually explained for in many academic studies for men's desire to negotiate and women's lack of desire to negotiate. Women tend to be more agreeable. And this is the scientific literature that when a guy goes to a job, he says, I want a job. And they say, we'll give you $50K. He goes, give me 60. And they go, we'll give you 55. And he goes, deal. The woman walks in and she goes, I want a job. They say 50. And she goes, well, okay, I guess. But that's a fact. So that ends up with men getting slightly more. But this has nothing to do with discrimination. It is a function of human behavior, period.
And its sociology is not allowed to be used. I have to clarify that. My wife buys cars for us because she's not that chick. She makes them cry. And I think that's a different thing. But that's not common. And you don't do it on abnormalities like that.
Look at this. Look at this A in the letter that's written in this weird way, like a loop. And then this A right here that's written differently.
So I think they had 4 Gen Z people collaborating on this to help Biden get a letter from a kid.
I think the G is the most revealing
Alleged.
thing.
Also, what's like blurred under Charlotte? The address, I guess?
Yeah, something like that. There's also like the Duval
Is there a PS?
style
Like,
of writing. Do you guys ever heard of that?
Underneath it says age 47.
From the Department of the Interior.
P.S. I've been something. Yeah, it says P.S. I've been blank. So this is not like...
I've been paid to write this.
Yeah, I've been
Please
paid
send
to...
check.
P.S.
Send help.
Yeah.
First of all, nobody writes letters. When was the last time someone wrote a letter? Or used
I
P.S.?
write letters all the time. Because I'm 100
Yo,
years
that G
old.
is legit weird. They start from the middle, do a loop around, down, and then back and up. I don't see a child making a G like that. That's a complicated G. You know, I'm like, how do you write a G?
I think Charlotte's AI.
You go top and around and down. You don't go down, around, and then loop back.
Also, even if this was a real child, like, I feel bad for this kid whose parents have clearly put them up to their political bidding, right? Like,
It's not a child who wrote this.
but if it were, hypothetically, if it were, I know it's probably not. I know this person is probably not even real, and a team of graphic designers put this together for a nice tweet from Biden. But
No, it was Chat GPT.
oh my gosh, probably.
Oh, look at this.
KID.
Twitter users criticized the president's post. So apologies to our writer, Timcast. Yes, a 4-year-old girl named Charlotte is writing the president letters about her concern with a gender pay gap, wrote one user. Alex, I'll take stuff that never happened for 800.
Which one of your staffers is named Charlotte?
Asked another user.
Hey, that could have been KJP.
So
I would say that's probably close to her
point out,
level, right?
We did include this in here. It appeared to be inauthentic and manufactured. That's right. It is. It's not real. I'm sorry.
Both the pay gap and the letter were inauthentic and manufactured.
Both the topic and the story.
Well,
KJP is really bad.
She gives diversity hiring a bad name.
What was the lady that she replaced? What was the other?
Jen Psaki.
Yeah. She was
Psaki was a loser, but she was good at being a liar.
Right.
She
She was great.
Horrendously good.
She did her job well.
Good at being a
KJP
liar.
is an embarrassment. There's so many times where she just is so incredibly unprepared to discuss whatever the topic is,
She's really
and it's
dumb.
embarrassing.
Remember when she gets asked about Marianne Williamson running for president, and she goes, "Well, if I had a globe or to look in the future," and someone goes, "A crystal ball." Yeah, crystal ball. So like, a globe?
She has this moment.
Does she think that people pull up globes and then scry into them?
Whatever the sphere thing is. She'll have these moments where she like is looking, she's a pen in her hand, she blinks several times, and then she keeps going. Like, she has all these physical manifestations of her confusion and delay. And like, if she weren't so terrible, I would feel bad for her.
It's even worse when she's reading and can't manage to read her prepared script in a coherent fashion. I'm like, come on.
Oh, okay. I do have to issue a correction. The letter does say, "Even I'm a child," but like, fair point. I missed that. I mean,
Bring Chris Bertman
But
in here
like,
right now. We're vindicated.
My point is this: no sane person legitimately thinks a child wrote this letter.
No.
This
No.
just didn't
I mean, I
happen.
feel like Charlotte's mom faked Charlotte's handwriting and sent this in. Charlotte is probably her newborn infant.
Charlotte's mom and her wine group as they were drinking
that
a box
sounds-
of wine, put that letter together.
That sounds like some Asti Spumante and a terrible idea.
I'm gonna go and say it. I'm looking at the handwriting, and outright, none of this writing style is how they teach people to write. So for a child, let me point out a few things that make literally no sense. If you look at the D right here, you can see it starts from the top and goes down and then jumps around. That's not how they teach kids to write Ds. You start with the loop and go up, then down and back. And then you can notice the G, as I already pointed out, it starts from here and then loops around and then goes back. And then you look at the uppercase D, from the bottom up and out. That's not how they teach kids to write Ds either. This is written by someone who's gone to college and developed a writing style after years. And also, I have to be honest, it may even be written by more than one person, as you guys pointed out, because some of the handwriting looks completely different. I'd love to actually get they do those forensic handwriting people to look at this and be like, oh yeah, that's a 35-year-old woman.
Tomorrow we'll get that. Somebody, because
somebody listening.
That's the
probably knows
great thing
somebody.
about the internet
come on,
is someone
chat.
is looking at it right now.
They're gonna
It
make a
does
video.
look like the W on like the second to last line is more curved than the one at the top.
And
Like
they're
you
different
can see,
sizes. They're different pressures on the paper.
Yeah.
I mean, it's
And
different wine mom.
Why would they write precedent?
Yeah.
Like they
And
understand
consistently.
They know what Biden is, but not president. Like it's like when they make the R backwards to make it seem like a kid wrote it. Oh, here you take a look at this. In the word something, the G is written with starting from the middle and going back and then down, but then the other G's are written in a very different way. This is written by multiple people.
I think we should have multiple children recreate this letter. Just like have them write it down and we'll compare.
That'd be funny.
We just go to a drag show and have the kids. We'll pass around a piece of paper and have
Those
them do
kids
it
are
while
too
they're at
There
the
you
traumatized.
go.
They can't do that.
I know where we can find kids. A drag show.
Just a local drag show.
Ask them to
Tam,
write
where
a
are we
letter.
gonna find
Charlotte's
kids to do?
Charlotte's PS is like, please help me. My mom took me to a drag show.
She's handing
Here you
you
go.
dollar bills.
Robbie Starbuck says, Charlotte has another letter for you, and she makes a lot of sense in this one. Dear President Biden, I just wanted to tell you something not fair to America. Ukraine is getting more money than homeless veterans or broken roads, our border security, and my parents combined. I think you should fix this and stop giving tax dollars to them. I'm a child, and even I know what you're doing is stupid. From Charlotte. P.S. Please don't pretend boys are girls anymore. It sounds crazy.
Robbie's
Charlotte
beautiful.
is so
And we got to
into
give
the
kudos.
economy.
Robbie and Landon, his wife, helped get a bill passed against this kind of crazed trans stuff for kids in Tennessee. So kudos to Robbie and Landon on that. They did great work.
That G is driving me nuts.
They're different.
But it's just like, it's
They're
the most
different.
pretentious G ever. That's what's
This G
like,
thinks it's getting away with this scam.
I'm sitting on my notepad. I'm looking at how they made the G, and I'm like, what is this?
The
Like,
G is taunting you.
yeah, they wrote it
one
like
step. It was one step removed
ridiculous.
from a ransom note cut out of
no,
a
it's
magazine.
like it's one
so
step
we all have to
removed from
recreate this letter.
calligraphy. Like they couldn't help but just like every letter has to be busted up and weird looking, but the G they couldn't help it. They're like, I have to put my twirl in it.
Do you think that person has a G in their name and they're used to
Yeah.
therefore writing the G?
Yeah, that may be it.
Evidence of who did this.
I don't know. Joe Biden's a liar. This is so.
Do you think this is from Ashley
like,
Biden? How does she spell her name? Some
here's
Ashleys with a
the
G.
thing. Biden supporters, look, this letter perfectly exemplifies the difference between pro-Biden and not pro-Biden. Because there are people who don't like Trump but don't like Biden. The Democrat people who think the economy is good right now are the people who think this is a real letter. There's an overlap between the cognitive abilities of the average person who likes Biden and everyone else. Thanks for watching this clip from the Timcast IRL podcast. Hang out with us live Monday through Friday at 8 p.m. and become a member over at timcast.com for uncensored, members-only shows exclusive. Thanks for hanging out, and we'll see you all next time.